Hi, Ron here. This is video number 2, and what we're going to be discussing is what I consider the best way of making thousands in a short period of time on the web in a way that'll increase your prosperity dramatically. You'll learn how to make money by giving orders rather than taking them, so you won't have to be out there hunting for customers. You won't have to spend money on advertising or any of those kind of things. And if you run it at what I call the snail's pace or the turtle's pace, you can actually spend money on services or products after you've either have cash in your hand from doing this, or you have substantial excessive receivables. In other words, if you're going to spend $100 on something, you might have receivables for $500 to $2,000 from a reputable company that's going to be paying you that in a month or two, right? Okay, you will make lots of new friends. You'll learn a lot about a lot of new and interesting things. You're going to build some long-term relationships, and as a result of knowing more and having more insights and things, you're going to be more popular at parties or get-togethers when you're with people. And you're going to be more comfortable around people because you're going to be talking about things that you know about, that you learned along the way of doing this here. You're going to build an excellent reputation, and you're going to help others make lots of money, and they will actually be happy to pay you. I know because I've done exactly that. A couple of years ago, I started doing something like this, and one of these things here I'm going to tell you about. And within 3 or 4 months, I had over $10,000 in hand, and my cost was somewhere around $100. I probably spent $88 more than I normally might in order to do that. So without further ado, I'm going to give you more details. Just leave your wallet where it is. You're not going to be asked for your credit card. You're not going to be asked to spend any money here. Okay? Now, this is great for starting your own business. And remember, this is a business where you give orders rather than take them. You don't spend money on advertising or anything like that. There's no selling. Customers will come to you as a result of your excellent reputation. And if you don't have a full-time job or you have free time, this is a great deal for you, because you can continue to do the productive things you do in your life and spend some time on this, enhancing your prosperity. This could even work into a full-time, high-paying job on Wall Street. And you're going to let others pay you for being an expert effectively. Now, you can develop the know-how for free initially, establish a solid track record, and in one of the three things I'm going to show you, I personally wound up spending about $98 when I had the 10,000 or so in receivables already, and so that can happen. I didn't mind, spending that kind of money. That's really chump change. Okay, so without further ado, let's take a look at how this works. First of all, there are 3 different websites that I'll point you to that you'll wind up exploring later on, and I'll give you some more information about. And I have no connection with any of these guys. One is called Tradcode, TRADCODE.com, and this one will allow you to sell your wares, sell your expertise, and if you develop an app for this kind of thing, you can even sell your apps here. Okay. The other one is called ZuluTrade.com, and this one is one where you can sell your expertise. And we're going to get to the point where you have an understanding about how to develop that expertise. Okay. Okay. And the third is one called Collective2.com. And what I like about Collective2 is that that one gives you some flexibility, even though it'll cost you some money, it'll give you the flexibility of doing this with stocks or futures or options or or currencies, stuff like that. Remember, you don't have to have money to invest or anything like that to do this. Okay, and so there's no risking your money that you have right now. Not necessary. Now, so what's the program? How do you do it? Here's how. When you are involved in various groups, for example, this is Andrew's course, and there are those who've taken the course who participate in the discussion group at there's a free one at called the Precision Trader group. Then there's a premium one, of course. And in the free discussion group, you'll find quite often there are posts by experts who will tell you what their trades are or going to be, and they will show you what it's based on, so you get to learn a little bit. They'll show you whether it's long term or short term. Now, here's my strategy for doing this kind of thing. For example, if somebody uses a collective 2, okay, they can initially start with a long term orientation, and there's a reason for it. I'll show you the short term orientation later. They can start with a long term orientation. At no cost, they'll let you set up one of their free account things, and you can place one, maybe 2 trades at the most a month. And what you do is you pick 1 or 2 trades that are probably going to do exceptionally well. And how you know this is by following some of the really good posters in the Precision Trader group or in 1 or 2 other groups that you might belong to. Okay, and you can find these on the web. They're all over the place. And so, for example, if someone was going to start with a fake, hypothetical, $10,000 account at C2, okay, remember, you don't have to put up money for this. You might put on what's called a single index or a currency futures contract at the start of a long move. And how you know what it is by following the experts in the groups like Precision Trader and others, right? And so a month or 2 later, you might do the same thing again, right? And each month thereafter, you might find another trade to do that with. So you build it up slow and steady. This is the turtles pace, and I'll show you the faster pace in a moment. And if that account is up, let's say 30% in 3 months, which is not hard to do with the incredible leverage they give you in the futures markets. And remember that this is hypothetical money, so you don't have your real money risk on the line, right? You will then have a lot of credibility and will start attracting customers on C2, for example. This is not unusual, and you can do the same kind of thing, only you're doing it in the Forex at Zulu Trade, and there's competitors to these guys, okay? Now, that's the slow and steady method. If you're at a place like Zulu Trade, you've got to be doing this more often, because where you make money on Zulu Trade, my recollection is as a result of having a big following and having a lot of commissions effectively. And then they don't call them commissions, but they really are. And you effectively get a percentage of those. And this is perhaps after you've developed your own system, something like that. It, it you remember, you never have to really invest a dime of your own money here. You just have to develop a good reputation. Let me show you an example of a guy who did this. And he's one of the Fast and Furious characters. Let me see. Dashboard. Let's take a look. Now this guy, he calls his system gold mine. He talks about how it's the best things in sliced bread. It is if you're a broker. Let's see, where is he? Let's find him. Okay, let's find gold mine. Now this guy's got it down to a science. Incredible. Yeah, this is him. Now, let me show you this, okay? Now look at this. He's making Slow and steady. Whoop. He's doing slow and steady, a few percentage points a month, right? Okay. Now, if you know how to read this chart, you see that this is the growth in the account, in the theoretical account. Okay, it goes from 25,000 to 25,500 over a period of 3-4 months. Okay. Now, notice also that if you this is it with after commissions, and this upper line here is without the commissions taken off. So what that means is, am I reading this right? Yeah. 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 So what that means is this whole area here, from here to here, is commissions. So if you're doing this slow, if you're doing, and look at this guy does tons of trades, tons and tons of trades. Okay. And so each one of these winds up racking up a commission for a broker. And this is taken out on this deal here. Okay. Now, so this is a gold mine for a broker. So if you develop a system like this, you could not only market it on a site like this here, okay, or a site like Zulu Trade, or in an app on Tradecode, or one of the other sites. But you can also pick up the phone and call brokerage firms. They would love you because they make a fortune on every little trade, and then they give you a percentage of what the account makes, and yada yada yada. I mean, Wall Street firms love this kind of stuff. Okay, so this is now. This is how you increase the prosperity of other people. Now, what I like to do is I like to look at short-term and longer term and long-term trades both. And personally, I would suggest that when you start out initially, you start with a longer-term focus. And so you're looking for set up an account where you can start up a reputation and slowly but surely get that money going and growing. Okay, and because if you only have like one trade or so a month on something like C2, they don't charge you for the account. If you start having a whole bunch of trades like this guy has, they charge you like $78, $98 for 6 months or so, whatever it is that is, okay, for their service. So that's how this works. So where do you find out? Well, you join the Precision Trader discussion group, and there's a few other discussion groups on the web, and you monitor the people who are the really good traders in that group as to what they come up with for starters. And maybe they'll give you some pointers as to where to go to learn more and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of free sources on the web, a lot of bad information on the web that's free. Some of it's good. And typically what you'll have is you'll have your people who are really good traders. What they'll do, who are teaching courses, for example, what they'll do is they'll give out some really good trades at no charge to people in these free discussion groups. And that's really it's a no-brainer, because if as a really good teacher of this stuff, you wind up giving out some good information to people, people will come flocking to you and want to buy your course and stuff like that. And so, you know, anyway, so this is the strategy. Okay, and what happens is I know it happened to me. I did this thing, and during a period of like 4 or 5 months at C2, I think I spent either $78 or $98. This was a few years back, and I had, within that first chunk of time, I had over $11,000 to $12,000 in income from C2, and that's from doing a few trades here and there. So now remember, in the process of doing all this stuff, you got to develop that solid track record and that excellent reputation, right? And you'll wind up building some nice long-term relationships with people. And as a result of learning about new things and doing new things, you'll be more interesting to talk to at parties, right? And you'll learn lots of new and interesting things. So yeah, you'll make lots of new friends on the web. I've met friends in New Zealand, South Africa, New York, all kinds of strange places, especially in New York. I used to live there. So uh, you don't have to spend money on services or products until after you've been paid or have excessive receivables if you want to use the snail's pace approach. Okay? So there's lots of options for you. What I do ask is that if as you run across competitors to Zulu Trade, Collective 2, and that other website I met, Tradcode, what I ask is that you send me the URL, the name of the website of those other organizations. I'd like to take a peek at them. Okay? That's what I ask of you. And go increase your prosperity. Bye.